Morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We are on day 231 of that journey, and today's message is the art of giving. The art of giving. I was doing a little art of giving a little time before I started today because my wife Jan is above me and she sounds like she's got wooden shoes from Holland on. I was like, what kind of shoes are you wearing? They have taps on them. So I just gave a little space and said, we'll start in a minute. It seems to have gone by. The art of giving. As I've mentioned in prior entries, anything you like to do in life can become an art form. Anything you like to do in life can become an art form because you're putting your focus on it, you're putting your light on it, putting your attention on it, you're watering it. It's coming from here. From here. That's an art form. That's a beautiful art form coming from your spirit. And that's where the best stuff comes from. When we think of giving, we usually it's thought of as a money or a physical gift of some sort. There are so many ways to give, and you're already doing it in many areas of your life you might not be even conscious of. That little beautiful way you just no, this is this. I don't, you don't take any thought about that whatsoever, but you're bringing light to people's lives. And in a world like this, that's the greatest gift you can bring, isn't it? Because it's a spritz of remembrance. It's like, no, this is who we really are. Remember, you are the light. You are the light. And use that light. Use that light to lift yourself. Use that light to create your life going forward. Okay? The artisto. So your smile, let's see, you already give this in many ways. Your smile, your encouragement, your heartfelt advice, hugs, laughter, sharing your joy, raising the spirits of a friend, mentoring others, and so much more. And we do this in little tiny ways. But when we focus in on something that we really like to do, all of that can kind of come into play and as part, all of the experiences that you've had in the past that have taught you something. Now you bring them together and you have all that experience in your artistry. So the older we get, the more experiences we've had, the more we have to tap into from a creative standpoint. And when we filter that through light and our artistry, and when it gives us like the joy of just being, the joy of just being in the moment by yourself, painting or doing whatever that is, the little things that you do that require your focus, that require your talents and all of these gifts that you've been given thus far. Well, you're going to be in a good space. To me, that's God's space. Creativity to me is God's space. I'm in God's space because God, what we call God, is the ultimate creative source of love. And so when you're doing something that you love, you're bringing your love attention to it, the most powerful creative part of you. So your channel is open for ideas and inspiration and, just looking at it from afar and just staring at what you're doing for a while and going, all right, I'm happy where this is right now. And I'm excited for tomorrow when I pick this up again. I've stopped in a good spot, that kind of stuff. You're really, boom, you're focused in on it. And you're happy with the results that you're bringing because you're taking your time. You're putting your quality effort into everything. Effort is always required, but it does not have to be this boom, bang, boom, forcing thing. In fact, it should not be this forcing thing at all. It should be this flowing thing. Creativity flows like water. It flows like water. So if you start getting frustrated in whatever you're creating, take a break, come back, get back into the flow of it. Rather than, well, that happened and doosh, doosh, all over the place and in reaction land. Yeah, well, there could be some of that, but bring yourself back. Bring yourself back, okay, so it's part of it. But don't make it the main part and don't make it the vehicle you drive in. Creativity flows. You are a creator. Flow with the river and the river will deliver. That's a new t-shirt. Flow with the river and the river will deliver. So when you express yourself in any way, you're giving. What we need to become is conscious of what we're giving. What emanation are we giving energetically? What does it feel like, what we're giving, right? Or does it feel like we're being sold something? Or does it feel like we're being offered something? It's like, hey, look what I found. You got this too. You just may not know it, right? And that's how it felt to me. It's like, hey, look at this information here. It's just information that goes bing, bing, bing. This makes complete sense to me. And this is dinging a bell, like I've done this before in another lifetime. And maybe you have, right? So that's why it comes so natural. It could become so natural to you. Ancient gifts that you've given to yourself in the past, or ancestral gifts that you have in you. You can sing, you have some special talent that is meant to be forged, is meant to be brought forth, is meant to be expressed. You're full of them. Find which one you really want to hone in on right now. Don't think about all of them. Focus in on one. Put your attention on the one that you feel the most pull for. Focus on that for a while. And if that isn't like the end all be all, don't worry about it. That's going to bring you to something else, or it's going to bring a new talent out of you that you will need, that God knows you're going to need, but you don't know you're going to need yet. I've had many of those epiphanies. It's like, geez, I wouldn't have known that unless that happened. I wouldn't have been able to do this unless that happened. Good, bad, or indifferent, right? The tragedies. I wouldn't have been able to talk to a person on that level unless that happened in my life. I wouldn't be able to express how I know you're going to be okay, because I was where you are and I didn't think I was ever going to be okay again. Never thought I was going to be okay again. Thought it was game over, right? And well, your ego can have you thinking that, but you do not believe that. Do not believe that voice. It's never over with God, right? Right? If God's bringing you to the other side, he's just bringing you home. So you cannot lose with God. You cannot lose knowing that that's where you come from and knowing that you're a cup of that. You can't really get it wrong. This is a learning adventure. All right. So what you learn is what you learn in this time frame, and grow with it and go with it and do your best in it. It's all that's all that you want from yourself. It's all what God wants you to see is your own growth. All the stuff that you already have, all the stuff that you've worked hard for, in different ways. And all the stuff that you've always been, your most beautiful, authentic self. Express that. All right. And so it's like picking up different musical instruments along the way and learning to play them. These are the experiences of our lives, whatever that may be, whatever art form you feel like bringing out and learning and expressing, I remember my daughter decided she had gone through a tough time a while back, and she said, what do I do during this time? I said, you got to get creative, learn to do something that's just for you. And she went to everybody's favorite guitar master, Graham Tishy in Troy, and she took guitar lessons. And a year later, she's making up her own songs and singing them. Oh my God. But it's just another journey. And while, she may not go on stage and play guitar ever, it was so enriching. It was so enriching to see the journey of her doing that and learning that. Makes me want to do it, but I go, come on, what else? What else am I going to do? I would love to learn to play guitar, that is for sure, but that's been an old dream. And my friends have known that for a while. It's like, well, we just freaking do it. I'm tired of listening to it. So, but that's the spice of life. Learning something new and giving yourself that gift of doing something new that brings a spark to your life. It can become a new art form for you. It can become a hobby. It can become something that you just cherish, that you can do all by yourself. Like Jed Clampett sitting out on the swing, whittling, just whittling in the sun could be enough, right? Enough. That's it. Just being in God's presence. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. Give that to yourself. It's like water. It's water for your own garden. Okay? And the art of giving includes the art of giving to yourself. So then you have much to give outside of yourself. You're filling your cup up first, as we always say. Okay? So you're filling yourself with the light of what lights you up. And then it just brings you up into this place. It's like, I feel like giving a little of this. Hey, good morning, honey. I'm in a good mood. you know? So your energy can be your own cup of coffee, or it can be, like, give me a cup of coffee. My energy sucks again because I'm thinking in doom and gloom. I'll need that coffee, right? So, but this is the journey we give to ourselves, or the journey we keep from ourselves and hide, like hiding your talents, and because of fear of what other people will think. If you bust out and do something new, don't fear that. Nah, that's just you're basing your judgments on other people's opinions, and people that may never ever have the courage to do what you've decided to do. So, you're going to let that stop you? No, you can't. You're trying to help those very people. You're trying to help those very people come out of that and say, no, you too. You too. Don't judge this. You too are this. You have this too. So explore it and let it loose. Let it loose. Becoming an artist of the soul is what you want. It brings the very best out of you and then back to your own front door. If we're mixing our darker colors into the daily canvas, you can be sure that they will return to you as well. You know what I mean? What you give out, if you're giving out negativity, that's going to come back to you like a slap in the face immediately. But you give out goodness and you go, well, that doesn't always come back. Well, oh, yes, it does. It doesn't always come back in the moment, and don't expect it. Don't expect everything to come back to you from giving your goodness. You're giving your goodness because you are goodness. You're giving you goodness because that's the truth of who you are, right? And that's your authentic, real way. The world has taught us to be guarded and protective and angry and mean and all of those other things to protect that. However, if you let the actual light loose, you'll find you move a lot smoother. I'm not saying you don't have boundaries. You do. You have to. But I'm saying you use that light of yours, knowing that everybody needs it. And if God's got this person in front of you and you have the opportunity to do it, well, that's part of your art. That's the part of the art of being you, the authentic, forever self, being you in human form, to spritz a little of God's love on this situation, whatever it may be. Okay. So you are a life artist, and that's how you paint. No matter where you are or what you do, you paint with the thoughts, words, and deeds of your soul. And your soul has got the best sense of humor ever. God has the best sense of humor ever. I don't know how the heck the stuff spills out of me, this crap that comes out of me. I go, it's from living in Troy, that's for sure. But it's also, I think I have a really funny spirit guide. It's probably a best friend from the other side, from Troy. So, but we have to keep each other in laughter, or we'll take this place so seriously that we believe it's the only thing, it's the end all be all, and we've always been from here, and this will always be the same. Wrong. Wrong. We are pillars of light that have anchored themselves here for us to all remember, so we can all come out of that darkness of not knowing who we are, not knowing our heart space, not knowing how to give it if we are scared to give it. Okay? And so we're just moving into a higher dimension of ourself, and that's going to be reflected out into the world. It's just what's happening. So if you tune into that, you'll see it. You'll see it a lot more. It's like blue cars or red cars. I want you to see, the sky blue ones where it's just beautiful, and look at those cars. I always tell my wife when she's when she's picking at me from afar, she goes, she'll say something about my eyebrows, or make sure this. It's like good Lord, you're coming after me, and it's just the funniest thing. I say to her, hey, look at something that you like. She goes, what do you mean? I go, it's obviously you're looking at something you're not liking right now. I suggest you look at something you like. Look at that nice, beautiful day out there, and she'll start laughing. So it's so funny. But this is how the ego works, isn't it? And when you realize it, you can certainly laugh at it, and especially your own, which is what we're here to do: laugh at it instead of take it seriously and become it. Okay, and outward thought, word, and deed. So the path of a great artist of giving demands that you consciously choose your colors in every moment when we paint. All right. When you learn to give some space between your thoughts and your deeds, you'll become the artist of your life, consciously choosing the next brushstrokes. instead of just old conditioning keeps painting the same old crap. Old conditioning will just keep having you paint the same old crap. Is that what you want? Or do you want a brand new canvas, douche, brand new paints, and much brighter colors to choose from, and start painting like Bob Ross, those happy clouds, right? It's not woo-woo. It's choice. It's choice. But your ego will tell you you haven't been given really that choice in life. But ego doesn't decide your fate. God does. And that's you. You are the light within. You are that God within. You have it. It's the juice of your own creativity. Stop playing the victim. Stop listening to victimology. God created no victims. None. He created beautiful beings of light, housing some humans to help them grow, to have this adventure. For that, to bring home some good stuff from this journey. And we just do our best doing it. So CTA today is practice the art of giving. And it's like I said, it's not just money. Sure, you got some money, give the money. But if most of all, it's just giving from our heart space. And that is the highest language we can speak to each other. And it is felt beyond the ego. Even if the ego is asleep and blocking it, you're giving for the sake of giving. You're not giving for the sake of getting. You're giving for the sake of, I just dropped off some more of God's light to somebody who needs it. Right? So that's it. And that kind of light just always returns to your life. And isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we all want, is more light in our lives? We give it to ourselves by being like the newspaper delivery boy for God. So I got my route to do. I tell my buddy Tommy Blake, we had this paper route when we lived in Miami Beach Estates. Yeah, it's funny that the name of our neighborhood, Miami Beach Estates, we grew up in. I left Spiegeltown and we went down there. That's where I met my buddy Tommy. He and his brothers were like the Peaky Blinders, moved in. And we just had the best time down there in Miami Beach Estates. And many local favorites came from that. It's like, where's this Miami Beach? Oh, no, it's this sunny place in North Troy where the sun just is always shining like Miami Beach. The reason it was called Miami Beach Estates was because where the water filtration plant is now in Troy, if you know Troy, it is the where a place called Miami Beach used to be. There was a roller skating rink where the water filtration plant was. And there used to be the big, where the pond is now, on the other side of Northern Drive, was over where the water filtration plant was. Everybody came to swim there. My father swam there. I go, Dad, what was that like? He goes, nah, you could go roller skating there. And Irv Gordon had the carousel, which I remember. There was a merry-go-round right across from Fane's house on Leprosy Road. And it was the best. We'd drive down from Spiegeltown. It was like we had our own little Hoffmans. But the roller skating rink wasn't there. But when my father and Mother's Day, it was there. And you'd go there on dates and roller skating. And then there was the lake or pond outside. And I go, what was that like? He goes, well, I go, what? He goes, that was full of eels and stuff. I go, great. Which is what the pond was when we moved into Miami Beach Estates. But Miami Beach Estates, to me, it's like Mayor Mantella was from Miami Beach. God bless her. And the mayor of Troy. And we grew up there. And so many great friends in that place. And it was like the movie The Sandlot in there. It was like this enclosed little bubble of the 70s. And it was terrific. It was terrific. So I was grateful to be part of Miami Beach, the estates. Yeah, they were big estates. Yes, they were. Yes, 4-bedroom capes and 3-bedroom ranches, the estates of Miami. Still love it. And lived there for so many years. Grew up in there. And then I bought a house there and lived there and raised my kids in there because the neighborhood was so awesome. And then sold it to these two knuckleheads who live there now, who I love so much. Two of my favorite gals. And just, these are the things that you bring up in your life that you remember so well that everybody that shared that experience will immediately rise up into resonation with that, into the good times. And we share more of those. We remember what it's really all about. we remember what it's really all about, the experiences that we have and what we brought to them. So you know what to do today? Bring your best to whatever today's experiences are. Okay? Much love and light, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.